Going live. All right, are we on? We're on. Good morning. It's Friday. Friday again. I won't go there. How you doing? Coffee and composing. Alliteration of a Friday morning. Hope you're all keeping well. I'm doing good. I am, I think we have fixed our audio issues. Possibly, maybe. Who knows? Today I'm just going to jump into stuff. I was going to say I have housekeeping things to do, but I can't think of any. The newsletter is out at 10 as well. I shall... Actually, that's my housekeeping. That's what I meant to do. Was put my newsletter... A newsletter sounds so formal, doesn't it? Just say, here is my random thoughts, my... which just came out of my mind. That'd be better, wouldn't it? Might be better. And let me find the link. Here we go. You can check out my use of AI. It's getting to the stage now where I keep talking about AI at home and people keep telling me to shut up. So I'm not going to talk about it now. Even though I probably won't get to, 10 minutes without talking about it. It's probably true. Anyway, let's crack on because I've actually prepared today. So sometimes I just come and sit here and say, let's see what happens. But I've actually prepared. I've prepared... Well, let me just turn off that because interference. I'm trying to set myself some systems for writing more often. And what I often find when I start to write is I like to just see what happens. I like to see what turns up and see how it flows as you're writing. I think one of the issues I often find with that, though, is having no jumping off point and no frame of reference and all. It's very nebulous, and you go, oh, well, maybe I'm going to write this today and that today, and you're kind of waiting for inspiration and which is fine. I mean, there's times for that, absolutely. But inspiration isn't going to strike you every day. Elements of inspiration might. But, you're not going to sit down and suddenly be inspired and that's it, you're going to write. So, for me personally, maybe for you it's different. Maybe you're amazing. You are amazing. But I've been trying to put in more kind of systems and ways of writing. And what I notice as well about when you're writing to picture, and maybe this is true of all film composers, but or how the modern trend of film composers, not true of all film composers, obviously, but the lack of melody and thematic kind of ideas that kind of resurface in kind of modern filmmaking and TV especially. There's a lot of synth pads and landscape stuff, like soundscapey stuff, and kind of noodly atmospheric things, which is great. I love that. But what I found was I'd always want to kind of work more thematically. or melodically, and I found that difficult. So, as a way of trying to work on that and write more melodically, I am exploring writing using a couple of very basic melody forms. So I got these form ideas from Ryan Leach, who is a wonderful film composer and educator on YouTube. I will find the link and put it in. Yeah, I will. Yeah, I won't do that now, but find him anyway. Ryan Leach, Lwch. And I'm not sure where he got this from, but this basic two melodic forms that you can use as a framework to write melodies from, that you're not starting from scratch and going, okay. So let's jump into Logic C. I prepared. Look, there's stuff happening. This is great, isn't it? If you're drinking coffee and, hanging out, let me know in the chat. Come and say hi. Obviously, when you're finished reading the newsletter. So here they are. These are actually screenshots from a video of Ryan Leach's. So I can't take credit for them, but we have the period form and the sentence form. I don't know if you can see these. So we're just going to start with the period form. Now, this seems like this is the most basic idea ever. And it is, but simple ideas are always good. The simpler, the better. And if it gets you writing more and, being a little bit more, intentional with your writing, I think that it's a good thing. And yeah, I'm going to try it out and see how it goes. Anyway, so period form is you have this basic idea for 2 bars. You contrast the idea for 2 bars. Come back to the basic idea, maybe with a little bit of variation, and end on a cadence. So it's kind of like you're making one musical statement over 8 bars. Now, this could be like 16 bars long, or it could be 4 bars long. The choice is up to you. And obviously, this is a jumping off point. So you might decide to go 6 bars, and you might decide to totally go off track altogether. And that's fine too. But yeah, I'm going to try and stick to some guide rails because I find that limitation in creation is helpful. It's good to put limits on yourself. I saw an interview recently with Brian Eno. Was it Brian Eno? It was Brian Eno, I think. And he said the 2 best things to make an album are budget and deadline. So budget being a low budget and a deadline. So once you work within constraints, you get things done more efficiently and easier. And also working within restraints gives you the vision to know what is outside those constraints. So you can kind of expand and throw the rules in the bin, which is also a good thing too. So I kept it ridiculously simple. I'm keeping it in C major. Okay, so I'm going to have some sort of basic idea over C chord, up to the 4 chord for the contrasting idea, back to the basic idea for a C chord, and then the cadence is 2-5-1. Now, you could change it to be even more traditional. I went for a kind of a jazzy cadence, but let's see what happens. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cycle this a few times and play around. Key of C, all white notes. I may add some color tones here and there, but I'm going to try and keep it as simple as I can and hopefully not have, you know, have it come out like Mary Had a Little Lamb. Oh, wow. It's amazing, right? Okay, so super simple. Whoops, I highlighted too much. I did it again. What's going on? Meant to do that. You all saw it. I meant to do it. Okay, so. Hey, what's up, Nelson? How's it going? Are you drinking coffee? So, what do I like about this melody? Not a whole lot, but I do like this this jump. So that major 7. So let's mix it up a little bit and let's put it on the E. And so that's kind of looking like our. You had a pint of water to start off the day. That is highly recommended advice. I also like to start today with a pint of water, but my day did start a little while ago. Oh, cappuccino. Yeah, nice. My beverage of choice is Americano. At the moment, as you can hear from the glorious ASMR sounds of coffee drinking. So we go F, and we might do, as a little contrasting idea, we move it up. So. But. That's a bit nicer, isn't it? Yeah, this one could be colored a little different. Maybe do a kind of a lid-in-y thing. Resolve it. Yay or nay? What do you think? Maybe just leave it at hanging. Okay, so back to our basic idea then. We're going to be the same. And, whoops. Didn't mean to do that. Man plays with MIDI in front of live audience. So. So this comes in a bit later, doesn't it? It's Comes in on the and of 2, or the E of 2 even. So it gives a nice bit of space. So, and then we just need something for the cadence. Da, 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 da. It's a bit shit, isn't it? So. Okay, I definitely don't like that. So, given that there's the major 7 and then the kind of Lydian sound in the F, maybe we'll give the kind of major 6 sound, kind of a Dorian-y thing. How's that sound? And it could resolve on the 3. Is that too weird? Yeah, it is too weird, isn't it? Okay, so one of the pieces of advice about this was with your cadence, the end of a melodic phrase arguably is not, it doesn't have to be the most impactful. And this is when I find that when you're composing just using kind of MIDI, that you move stuff, you're kind of caught exactly where you are and forget to look at the overall shape. And that's part of why I want to use this as a kind of a method for writing more often. So we just want to straight up. Maybe just leave it like that. Okay, so there's our shape, a very basic shape. Da-da. Maybe extend this B. That sound nice? So any suggestions are welcome, positive ones. It's like, this is totally lame, which could well be. Okay, I quite like the kind of suspension well, it's not really a suspension, but that'll work for me for the cadence. I do think a quick reference to the major 7 jump would be nice in here. So we have this. I think the space is nice, but see how clearly there we've got this kind of descending melody, and it makes sense musically straight away without even having really to do much to it. In a similar way to if you're thinking about sentence structure, I know we're getting into the sentence form in a minute, but this idea of a simple musical phrase and then it's repeated, or it's contrasted and then repeated. So like, I'm sure you can find hundreds and hundreds of examples of this, but let's see if we can think of something. So think of something like, so like, is this the real life? Is this just fantasy? So da 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 da. So if we break it down into like really simple kind of rhythmic information, that's the kind of the symmetry we're looking for. Whereas, you know, it's very tempting to just go off in meandering melodies and you know, follow where your ears are going. And just even a small bit of structure can make these melodies kind of make musical sense. So the other thing I wanted to do about this was, it's so tempting when you get into working with a visual piece, or even, you know, songwriting in general, to go, let's get to the orchestration straight away. So let's open up all the instruments, let's do all the plugins, and you just start orchestrating straight away. So it's kind of like, you know, it's a little bit building your house on sand. And I don't want to say this as like it's a hard and fast rule, because it's not. I mean, obviously there are a million other approaches you can do for this. I just find that for me, having a little bit more structure can really help me write. In the long run, it helps you write faster, because you've got your bones done. And even with this, it's simple melody, simple chords. You can expand this in a few different ways now. So I've talked about reshaping a score, reshaping a melody before on a previous live stream, where you take the basic bones of the melody and change around in different ways. So, for example, here you could take this melody, and instead of having your major 7, you could flip it and play it in reverse. You could start from your cadence, play it backwards. Like, because there's a shape there, it'll suddenly become its own thing. And you have a ton of musical information to fly off it, which gets you started and gets your brain thinking. The other thing as well is you're totally free to reharmonize. So we have a C major chord. We can make that sound a little bit more interesting through voice leading, or we could change the chord to, you know, we could make it an A minor if we want. So and the F is very plain Jane, isn't it? So we have C in the bass. Anyway, I don't want to get stuck into reharmonization, because the whole point of this is to keep it simple, and you're coming up with a melody line. So see, straight away my brain goes to, how complicated can I make this? So, not the most amazing writing in the world, but you know, it makes sense structurally. It's their basic idea. Contrast the idea back to your basic idea, and then finish the structure. And you know, how would you be in a month if you wrote one of these 8-bar melodies every day? You know, you'd have 30 of these things, and every one of these things has the potential then to be orchestrated, to be, you know, reharmonized, to play around with the melody. You're never stuck for ideas again. What I find the most frustrating thing is I always jump to complication first, and it ruins simplicity, it ruins flow, and it's the easier choice. It's always easier to start with orchestration. For some reason, I don't know, it's just for me. I don't know how you find it. Maybe you find it really easy. And your jumping off point is super complicated orchestration first. But yeah, like think of all of the melodies that you know that are just really impactful. They're just well built and they have a good structure. So anyway, next up then we have the sentence form. Now we add this in the arrangement. So this is basically, it's kind of a bigger brother version of the period form. And this is used in, you know, a lot of classical music that, hey, I'm still learning about this shit. So I don't know exactly what I'm talking about, but I like the idea. So that's it. So we have 2 bars of a basic idea again. And let's do this from scratch. So 2 bars. Then we have the idea repeated and augmented. So we have basic idea. Think of ideation. That's the big buzzword now when you're talking to computers and stuff, isn't it? Continuation. Basic idea repeated. Or expanded. Then we have continuation. So if you're thinking with your jazz head, you might think of this as B section. And then we have our 2-bar cadence. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're still in 8-bar land. So let's go somewhere different with this. So chord-wise, for the basic idea, let's get as far away from C major as we can, and let's go for. I'm going to go for A flat. It's not as far away as we can, but it'll do for now. So the basic idea, and just for fun, we might transpose the basic idea up a minor third for the crack. So we've up to B. So straight away, I'm already trying to get complicated. Now, and maybe a good place to go with this will be relative minor. So we might put this F minor. F minor. So can everybody hear what's happening? And how's everybody doing? You all good? And maybe a 4/5 into A flat. So we'll do D flat and E flat. That work for you? There you are. D flat and make it a minor, not a dominant, diminished. D flat minor, E flat 7. I paint myself into a corner now and watch me squirm, trying to figure out good melody notes and all these keys. So make it a dominant. Look at, it should be D flat 7. See, don't make things complicated. Keep things simple. That should go there. And then last chord is an E flat. E flat, dominant. So, relatively straightforward. We're going to have the basic idea over 2 bars. Then we're going to play the basic idea again, with the expansion being it's going to be up a minor third. And then the continuation, or the B section, is going to be in the relative minor, and finishing off with our cadence of 4/5 back to 1. So obviously you don't have to think of this in terms of chords first. You can just play your melody. Because we're because I'm trying to keep a framework on this and have a cadence, I find it good to think of in keys rather than, just drifty modally stuff. So let's... Yeah, so we had a big interval jump last time. So we're in A flat. Yeah. What's a nice note to start with an A flat? How about an F? Yeah. I'm just going to put this on a loop and play around, see what happens. So again, I might come back in and edit something later. Actually, before I do that, I should play some chords, shouldn't I? So that would be helpful. So A flat, we have B, to F minor, yeah. Okay, click track would be good. Beautiful. Most amazing chord progression of all time. You heard it here first, folks. So if you want to bring up a MIDI window in Logic, Command 4 brings you up a separate MIDI window, which is nice. Just in case you were looking for a quick key for that. There you go. So we're looking for a melody line that's going to kind of fit. And then the basic melody, we want the melody to stay the same, but we kind of have this reharmonized thing going on. So let's loop that, see if we can come up with anything interesting. Oh, nice. Okay, so it's amazing. That's exactly what I heard in my head. So I just adjust this a little bit. So the F here, when it goes to the B, we'll just make that an F sharp to tidy it up. It's absolutely amazing. Okay, so we have this kind of idea of so long, short, short, long, short, short. That's our basic idea. And so we've got this kind of we could, just to kind of keep it a little bit more enharmonic, and then this B section is kind of a nothing, isn't it? And it sounds weird. Yeah, that's, it's fine. I mean, for demonstration purposes and keeping things simple, and this is exactly the kind of composition that I'm trying to get in the habit of doing more, because it's so tempting to go, that's not quite right, that's not quite right. And obviously iterations of the same idea is a good thing, but the initial, let's get 8 bars done and tweak it a little bit, and some of them will be good, some of them won't, but they have this kind of this structure. That's really what I'm looking for more than anything else with this particular exercise is, does it have a structure that I'm looking for? Does it have a basic idea? Does it have an iteration of the basic idea again? Does it have a continuation that it goes somewhere else? And then a cadence, a resolution of some sort. And it doesn't have to resolve as in this is going to resolve nicely to home. It could be unresolved, but it's a finishing statement. So with that in mind, I have this long, short, short, long, short, short. That's my basic idea. Then I have this thing, which I'm not sure is anything because it's not its own distinctive B section. So the bum bum. So I think the best thing to do here is take this little bit of information, da da da, and maybe play around with that idea, da da da. Da, ba, ba. That could be very weird. What do we got up here? B. And and bring this up an octave just to kind of finish it off. It's a bit shit as well, but so da. Whoops. Didn't mean to do that. Or that. I meant to do that. Yeah. Okay, let's have a listen. Da, da, na, na, na. It's a bit pedestrian, isn't it? Plain vanilla. Ba-na. And end on the dominant 7. That's quite nice. And I'm not liking this G flat here. I want a different note. I don't know what this is going to sound like. Two on the nose. It's too high anyway, so. Okay, I'll leave it be. It's not, it's okay. It's probably just the transition of the chord that's annoying me, but amongst other things. But again, it's not, what I'm aiming for here is not, it's not overcomplicated. It's not the perfect melody, because obviously once you kind of get the melody structure, you can come in and play around with it as much as you like. But its main structure is long, short, short, long, short, short. So da da. And it would help if they're all a little bit more in time. That would be nice, wouldn't it? And everyone looking at me now going, why didn't you just play it right? It's because I'm not a great piano player. So come at me, bro. Da, 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 da. This is a bit crap too. I just can't help myself. But does it have the structure I'm looking for? That's the main thing. That's what I'm looking for. Is it has a basic idea followed by a basic idea with an iteration or some sort of, you could maybe do like, here's the idea. Or maybe something like that. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. And then we're back to resolution. So within that, you now have this kind of melody that you might like it, you might not like it, but you've got a kind of a structure. You've got this 8 bars that says something. It gives you a thought, it continues the thought, it gives you an opportunity for a B section, and then it resolves the thought. So similar to the way we make conversation, and how our sentence structure and how our own kind of cadence comes into it when we're speaking. And that structure and having a system to get into that structure will just make you so much more quicker. And that's what I'm hoping for anyway when I use it, is that when you have a solid framework, now we can take it. Now we can iterate. I've 2 melodies now. So now I can take those melodies and I can iterate them in any way I want. I can change the melody so it's starts at the end and play it backwards. You can change it to major, you can change it to minor, you can change it to a modal idea. You can change it rhythmically. You can reharmonize these melodies. So when you take this kind of bare bones melody writing and then you expand on that until you get something that you're happy with, then you start to develop out more and get into your orchestration and start to color in the building blocks of what you have. So that's what I'm trying to do more of when I'm writing, is to come from these places of simple ideas first, and then get as complicated as you like later on, once you kind of have solidified these kind of simplistic ideas. So let me know what you think. I mean, chuck something in the chat if you're hanging out. And my coffee's gone cold now, but I am still kind of a fan of cold coffee. Yeah, I think, Ryan Leach is a really good educator, has some great tips on everything from orchestration to compositional writing. I don't think this kind of thematic and melody writing is used. It's really simple. It's really straightforward. But when you're watching kind of modern TV and film, the emphasis is so much about soundscapes and kind of emotive sonic palette stuff, which is amazing and I love it. But this I do miss, you think of classic themes and how those themes are put together, and when you think about them, a lot of them they can boil down to these kind of forms, these very, very simple forms. I'm putting myself on the spot now trying to think of one, but yeah, so you think of Star Wars, and there's your idea. There's a repetition. Then your cadence. You know, it's like simple structure. You can hum it. It comes into your mind quickly. So, yeah, let me know. Let me know what you think about that. That would be awesome. So just to recap, we went with up here the period form, and the sentence form, which is just like a slight extension of the period form. And also, just for fun, let's see what the integration of ChatGPT. I just see this has kind of come up here. No, doesn't want to work for some reason. Maybe I haven't connected it. I just see now in Logic there's a little ChatGPT thing here. Anyone used it? What do you think? No. Okay, sorry. I digress. Yeah, the period form. So you have this basic idea over 2 bars, a contrasting idea, or a B section, or the basic idea kind of iterated further or expanded upon. Back to your basic idea again, followed by a cadence. And in the words of Adam Neely, you see, repetition legitimizes. So you can quite often think of, I have my idea, and then I'm not going to repeat it, but you know, here's the idea again. So you're reiterating your musical statement, which is always a good thing and not done enough, I don't think. And the sentence form then was basic idea, iteration of the basic idea, then a continuation, meaning kind of like a B section, but not a full B section, but a step away from the kind of main basic idea, and then bringing it all home with some sort of a cadence. Doesn't have to be a traditional cadence. Doesn't have to resolve straight to the exact key that you're in. Can go somewhere else, and they're all jumping off points. But I think this is very cool. I found it during the week, and I'm definitely going to be using it more. I'm going to try and write. See how quickly you can write. You can write 16 bars here in an hour, in like 45 minutes. So once you have those structures in place, then it's really easy to expand on that and to orchestrate that. And I say that in kind of simple terms. Orchestration is not easy, obviously, but it's a lot easier when you have a strong, solid framework to jump off on. So, curiously, how do these things fit together? They sound really weird. They're not written to fit together, but interested to see how I have a similar kind of idea. So that for me felt like there was a structure on it. It felt like it wanted to go somewhere and come back again. I definitely feel like you want a resolved chord there at the end. Sometimes keeping it simple is not a simple task. That is a fact. And it's something I'm guilty of probably the most, is you get into being overcomplicated way too quickly. And, I find that stalls. That gets to a point where I will stall and things just kind of get too entangled to get out of it. So I say bring back simple themes, and if we can all keep it simple, we'd be doing well. But it is a hard thing to do. Anyway, that is all I have for the moment. Check out Ryan Leach. He's great educator, and he's on YouTube and has a couple of videos on both of these forms that are probably better than watching me fumble around the place on it. And if you're feeling like it, click on the link for the Substack, and let's get involved. Let's have a conversation. Let's get involved. Yeah, I like it. If there's anything you want to see me talk about or muddle my way through for a live stream, let me know in the chat. These are kind of me experimenting on different ideas and seeing what comes out of it. So, it's a sandbox, so to speak, of stuff that I'm trying to kind of incorporate into my own workflows and stuff like that. So, just a chance to hang, drink coffee, talk about music and musical ideas, and see what comes out of it. So hit me up, say hello, Barry Power Music, or you can get me here. Follow, subscribe to the channel, all that kind of stuff. All that YouTubery stuff that do YouTubery things. And I will see you on the next one next Friday. Peace and love. Bye.